Welcome to the F622 in the West Fjords. What an amazing spot this is. So we began this F622 this morning in complete fog. You could not see the ocean just below us. So it was actually a little bit of a boring drive through just because of the lack of views. And then we got to here and it's opened right up. Now technically you're not really meant to be on this part. Well, it's silly to at high tide. It'll be high tide in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. But because there is zero wind, as you can tell from the fog, there are no waves at all. I don't think we'll be in any danger. I don't think normally at high tide it comes over the road. So I think we're okay to have lunch here. Before we were looking out, saw a big old head stick up out of the glassy ocean. It was a big seal or a sea lion. There's just so many beautiful birds, as you can tell, kind of all roosting in the rocks here. It's like a seabird paradise. So we've been in the West Fjords for a few days now, and we've had very similar weather to this. Zero wind, so it's just not blowing away this fog or burning off either, because it is a little bit overcast above. But we're having a really good time. It's very different from the Highlands. Yesterday we saw an incredible waterfall. Kind of hiked up to the top of it with Oakley. I think I only grabbed kind of one video clip there, and I just took a few photos. I got out the old landscape wide angle lens and just grabbed a few little shots at long exposure with my Lee filter set up. It's been ages since I've done that. Before we started this track, kind of yesterday evening, we were going along a beach, kind of just combing it with oaks, and there were so many skulls of this brutal looking fish with these big teeth. So I looked it up and it is called the Atlantic wolffish. I would love to jump in here right now and go spearfishing. It's really clear. Even for such an overcast day, the water visibility is really good from above. So I would love to just check out through here. Maybe grab a wolffish or two for dinner. But alas, I have no spearfishing kit with me in Europe yet. And you've got these towering cliffs overhead, just with tens of thousands of seabirds, all in these kind of rookeries.
Alright, so we're just at lunch. Chris and Oakley are playing outside. Such a nice spot we found, so relaxing, hearing the birds. The ocean is just so calm. And I'm just taking some time to do some meal prep for lunch. It's been so nice to actually slow down the past week or so since we finished shooting this film for TFI, for the competition. So yeah, now just doing some meal prep. I'm making a pulled pork burrito mix that we'll have for the next 4 or 5 days. It's so handy to do like a big bulk, and then like I can make lunch quite fast every day. The food in Iceland has actually been really good quality, as I was expecting. Prices as well, very expensive as expected. But yeah, I do miss a little bit more fresh fruits and veg. Even though you can find some, they are either too expensive or just not like great, like not ripe. For example, I would have loved some mango, some avocado for this meal, but yeah, it's just not really what you would buy here in Iceland. It's actually what I miss the most in terms of food from Australia, like a good mango or a good avocado. But yeah, you can't have them all. So yeah, I'm just making some rice here. Other than that, the camper has been great during this trip. I was expecting Iceland to be a lot windier than it was. We had one really bad night, but other than that, like quite still actually. So we had good sleep in the tent. I've been cooking all the meals on induction and no issue at all in terms of power, even though there's almost no solar. But yeah, we're in a drive power system with a DC to DC. Every time we drive, we just top up the batteries nicely, and we're almost full when we arrive at camp, so that's perfect. All right, my rice is actually almost done. I will wrap this up and go outside with the boys.
Hey!
But there's one thing that this boy loves. Some good rocks.
Same with his dada. A local tour guide just came past our only car we've seen today on the track and said that that was a Skoda, one of the four-wheel drive Skodas that a few years ago got trapped here, kind of like went down, I guess like down the bank a little bit when the waves were quite high. and they lost the car. Car was just gone into the ocean, and that's all that's washed up. That's pretty gnarly. Whoa! Yeah, it's proper ice.
Wow! Well, it's not often that you off-road on a lava field with a huge volcano in the backdrop and you end up playing in the snow. It's just so good. The journey to come here actually has been quite cool. We've left the busy West Fjords. We took the longest and most remote off-road right in the center of the country to come back to the Highlands, because this is the part that we love the most about Iceland, so we want to make the most of the last 2 weeks here.
Yeah, we couldn't get enough of the Highlands, so we came straight back. We're up kind of the top of the country, and yeah, it didn't speak to us like the Highlands did, so we came back down for our last 2 weeks. Behind us is the volcano of Krakatoa, and we are quite close to the volcano of Hekla again, which we had driven up a few weeks ago, or a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, very, very cool, just traversing this lava field here. Everywhere else we've seen the lava field, you can't drive through it, but here it's basically got a maintained off-road track right the way through it, which is awesome. So we're going to carry on through. There's just offshoots everywhere. This is paradise. We don't even know where we're going right now. We're just kind of just poking our noses in, just having a little bit of a tiki tour through the lava fields. It's very, very, very cool. But cold, isn't it? It's freezing, that wind.
It might be the last time we see snow in a very long time, so
yeah,
make the most of it. How did you look like from the air?
How cool is this? That's amazing.
Is it pretty cool?
I couldn't see you because of your red jumper, because it is so red around the crater.
Yeah, I had actually no idea that we could reach the top of this famous red crater from this track, and it's just such a nice surprise, and you can easily access this track with any 4x4. That's the beauty of Iceland.
Yeah, but you've got to have your common sense and not be a dick, because for instance here,
yes,
they've clearly tried to stop people from doing this by putting rocks across, and people are doing it anyway. This is what Icelanders mean by it's illegal to off-road. So we're fine to park here, but you're doing this, even though it's really enticing to me to get to the top of the crater and get an amazing photo, it's not worth having these places shut down. So like, yeah, just common sense and just not being a dick. So we've just left that crater. Now we're heading towards another crater with a lake in it, which you're allowed to drive right up to. So we're going to check that out now. I was just saying to Ange, like, the off-roading, so the tracks like what we're on now, they're not difficult at all. There's been a couple of little hairy sections, but like 99% of the trails and F-roads in Iceland, you just want a vehicle with good grippy tyres that are tough, because there are lots of rocks around, and you know, you could definitely get punctures. You definitely want some clearance, because there are some like rocks in the middle of the road that you would want to be able to get over. Probably the worst parts being the river crossings, where there can be some big boulders in it, and you do see a lot of like the Dacia Dusters and the smaller all-wheel drives. They seem to be ripping their like undercarriage to pieces. You just see it strewing through the riverbeds, just bits of plastic. So you definitely want a 4x4 with a bit of clearance, and then you would ideally want a 4x4 with a proper transfer case, so that you can really go into low range, because there are some really steep rutted out sections that'll come across just randomly, and that's where you want your gearing to work to your advantage. You don't want to have to be either braking all the way down or revving really hard to just get up hills and losing traction, just tearing the track up. But in terms of like capability of your vehicle, it doesn't require that much for the majority of the terrain around here.
What about snorkel?
Yeah, snorkel, obviously a snorkel is definitely ideal. And just for peace of mind as well, I would say. But if you've got, you know, maybe let's say a Sprinter with a proper transfer case, if you've got quite high clearance, or a big truck, you know, like Bowser the Unimog, you're probably going to be fine in the majority of circumstances. It's more, let me just focus here.
Yeah.
It's two directions. In saying that just kind of became quite technical.
I think this is the thing with the majority of the tracks and the off-road, the level of difficulty. Overall, it's relatively accessible to any car, but there's often one section of the off-road or the track that actually is much harder, like where you need a more capable vehicle. So this is where sometimes some river crossings, you know, are just too deep for some cars and they can't do the off-road, even though the off-road is actually really easy to do. So I think,
sorry,
you know, it's okay. No.
The other one we've seen time and again, Iceland's a good example of it, is if you don't have a lot of experience doing river crossings, the rule of thumb is take it as slowly as you can without your vehicle stopping. And we've seen loads of vehicles with no snorkel hit these river crossings like 3 times faster than they should be, and all that's going to do is super speed the water up into your airbox or into your radiator fan or into your alternator. You've got no real chance of getting stuck in the majority of the river crossings because they're all rocky bottomed. So just go slow. So like we would see people like expecting us to go really fast because that's kind of fun, but at the end of the day, like, it's the preservation of your vehicle that's important. So they'll be like, oh, here we go, and then we'll just cruise through super slowly out the other side, like zero drama. And that's the way you should really be doing it. So yeah, if you don't have a snorkel, drive slow.
Wise words. Alright, challenge you to pronounce the name of the track we're gonna take.
Hrafnitunuska.
Hrafnitunuska.
So we have kind of last minute decided to do this track. It's 17k in, 17k out, and it looks like you drive past some geothermal pools. So yeah, looks fantastic from the few photos that Angie's just researched. And we've got enough fuel. So yeah, we'll head in, get some lunch soon, and we'll see how this track is.
But the boys are a lot more silent now that they're eating.
Yeah, we got pretty hangry actually, didn't we, Oaks?
So we just stopped like randomly on the side of the track. There's like a little place where we could park up before continuing. So no scenic lunch spot, but there's maybe some cool stuff ahead.
It looks pretty cool that way. Yeah, I can see some steam rising up, so I think there's going to be some vents not too far away at all. There's some snow that I can see, and it looks like the highest lava field we've seen so far.
You're much higher here.
Yes.
More kiwi?
Oh, more kiwi fruit.
Okay.
Crazy rock. It's like, I guess it's obsidian, it's volcanic glass, but when it's wet it's shining like, it's beautiful.
All over the track.
It looks like someone's, put some like glass all over the track. It's cool.
So we left our windy lunch spot to get to the top of the track towards, I guess it's like a mountain or volcano, I'm not too sure exactly, which normally in winter as an ice cave, it just looks amazing over there. It looks like we need to fly the drone, get closer to it if we can, but the weather, the wind is the strongest we've experienced in Iceland, and I think
it's too much for the drone.
Cold.
It's almost too much for the doors of the truck. I got slammed by it before. So we will come back tomorrow, because it's not a very big trip at all from where we're going to camp, and try and film it for you guys, because it's just the most bizarre landscape. Awesome. So we need to film it. It's terrifying. Ah. Wow, so we've just pulled over on the side of the track. There's this steam vent right next to this big bubbling pool of water. That steam is coming out of there so fast and so hot. It sounds like a jet engine taking off. It's terrifying to be anywhere near it. I've never seen anything like that before. That is amazing. Just going for a little wander. Smells a little bit like sulfur, but not too bad at all. Oh, so cool. You can see all of these areas where kind of the grass has died. It's become like this brown, grey, like you can really see the spots where it is geothermic. And there's a lot of spots here where the water is coming out super, super hot. But yeah, you could not swim in that pool. That pool would boil you alive within seconds, I think. How cool.
A toddler muddy paradise.
So neat.
And this water, you can actually put your hand in it. It doesn't burn. Like it's, I don't know what's the temperature, but yeah.
It must be like 30, 40 degrees.
Some of them over there look a lot hotter.
Yeah, check these out. The crazy thing is, this isn't an attraction. This is just randomly on the side of a track. We've not seen another car so far the entire day. It's crazy.
Look at the mud drying. I'm getting my beauty treatment. People would pay a lot of money in the spa in Iceland to get
Yeah.
kind of mud treatment.
All you need is a 6x6 and a toddler.
And I get it for free. Wow. How cool is that? Hi. Oh, this is crazy. Whoa,
Whoa!
Yeah, careful here. Yeah, no. Here you're good, but don't go closer. Hi!
Look, actually, there's like ice. It's like an ice skate tunnel.
Wow! Yeah, there's steam coming out of the ground.
Yeah, but the water...
The water itself is cold because it's melted snow, but... That's so cool! What a spot!
Randomly just parked on the side of the road just to get okay to play, and just found this in the middle of nowhere. It's so wet. How you did the shovel?
Wow! Oh. This is epic! Oh. Wow! Guys, we found an ice cave! Oh, that's epic! And that goes out. So, the awesome thing about coming to Iceland in winter is you can pay to go see ice caves, which of course aren't here in summer, but we've just found one. Wow, that was just such a cool experience. We were like little kids in there with Oak. That was amazing. We never thought in our wildest dreams we would come to Iceland in summer and stumble upon an ice cave. That's not on any map or anything. That was just a complete fluke of chance that we went for a walk there and Ange discovered the ice we were on was hollow. It was so cool. We weren't in any danger though, because above us where it was melting was not really thick, so if it had kind of collapsed it would have just been a bit of snow on our heads. It wasn't thick ice. I think that's one of the reasons why you're not meant to go into ice caves in summer, but that was like a little tunnel. It was fine. So now we got Oakley dry again. We are running through a lot of wet weather clothes, and now we are heading towards a steam vent. So we are really doing a lot of exploring today, which is so nice because the weather completely cleared up, as you can tell. We've actually had a few pockets of beautiful blue sky and sunshine, which is very rare we've found for up this high in the Highlands, because we're at about what, like 1200 meters?
I think a little bit less.
A little bit less than 1200, so I think we're at about, yeah, it must be about 1000 meters above sea level, which for Iceland is actually quite high. So yeah, we did not expect the best weather here, but it's just wicked. You might be able to see the steam in the distance up here. That is where we were earlier today with that jet engine of steam coming out of the ground. So we haven't gotten far since that part of the filming, but that's all right with us. You having fun? Is this the best day ever? Well, it's definitely past our usual dinner time, so this evening might be interesting once we get back to the truck, but we can't pull them away. Who can blame him? This is what it's all about, isn't it, Oaks?
Talking about the muddy clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, weirdly enough, in Iceland they actually as well not many laundromats, so that adds to the difficulty of cleaning the clothes, but yeah, we'll deal with it.
That woman right there is a beast. I wouldn't have wanted to carry Oaks all that way. I got the easy job.